Hey everybody, Dan here. First of all, before I get into these into these stocks, I want to mention we are having a sale on our 59-minute trader. Basically, it's a day trading course, though, as I've explained before. It's really not about day trading. It's about trading the opening hour, 1 hour of work. And what that does is it allows you to stay in during the money making part of it and be out during the rest of the day when most day traders gradually give their money back to the market. All the action takes place first thing in the morning. This is the lowest price we've ever had it offered. So if you're not, even if you're not a member, I think you still get a pretty good price. But if you are a member, it's definitely a great price. I highly recommend it. Why? Well, because I'm the one that wrote and taught the course. But you should definitely check it out. Here's one thing, and then I'll get on to our stocks here. We've not had one negative email or comment about it. Every single piece of feedback that we've got, it has been positive, and that's unheard of, at least for us. Anyway, enough about that. I'm not a salesman. I'm a stock guy. A couple things here. I think, and I explained in our live trading session this morning, you can really, and this should be very, very obvious to you, you can break the whole coronavirus thing down into two aspects. First is the medical element, and then second is the economic element. In my mind, what the market is seeing in some of the news and the data is telling us this, is the medical aspect of it. You know, how bad is it going to be, this and that. Nobody knows for sure. That's the thing. Nobody knows for sure, but we're starting to get kind of more of a feel. Like, I think it's pretty much off the table that everybody on the planet is going to die. That's not going to happen. It's also pretty much off the table that 15 people are all that are going to die. It's kind of something in between, but they're gradually narrowing it down. We're starting to see other little snippets of news come in that we're getting a little bit better idea. And that's really all I can say without pissing off the doctors or anything else. I'll just say that the market is starting to look at this from the medical standpoint as being somewhat, I won't say contained, but we'll put it this way, somewhat understood. And what I want to show you is some what I would call coronavirus stocks. Those are the ones that stand to gain the most during this nasty virus. APT, no, it's not an apartment. Alpha Protec, they make those masks that everybody seems to want. So you see the big spike here when this stuff was all the rage. And it was a heck of a move. And frankly, this doesn't look like much, this move here. Guys, this was like 30% or something. Maybe it was even more than that. Yeah, it's over 40% move in a day, but it just doesn't look like that. Well, that was it. We actually were trading live that day. That was a good trade. But the following days, it really hasn't been. Traders are kind of taking profits. Lakeland, this is another one. You see they make those, maybe they make hazmat suits, but they're the protective suits. Took my dogs into the vet the other day. They were all wearing them. It said Lakeland right on the upper left part, the chest pocket. They've already owned those. And so typically you'd look at that and say, wow, I got to go buy that stock. No, this is already yesterday's trade. It's last month's trade. These are not stocks that you should be wasting your time looking at anymore. I'm trying to save you time here. Literally, there's no trade here. And if you are looking at this stock and this stock, it's either because you were upside down on it, or maybe you had a big, you made a lot of money on it. And then now you're hoping to repeat it because, hey, I like repeatable things. So you want to stay away from that. How about, Moderna? Big, biotech company. It's not a big biotech company, but it's a play on COVID, right? Okay, 35, fail, 35, fail, 35, fail. Each time, though, this is getting closer to that level. So we're getting this series of higher lows. It seems to me like if, not when, if the stock breaks out above 35 and holds, then maybe that's something that we can get our teeth sunk into, right? So what I'm going to do just on my personal software here is I'm going to go ahead and put a price alert there. Now I'm going to completely forget about the stock. I don't care. I don't want to own it if it doesn't get above 35. And even if it does get above 35, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to look at it before I buy it. I want to decide whether it's a stock that I want to buy, because right now all this is a 3-time loser, a failed breakout or test 3 different times. Now how about other stuff? Okay, Zoom video. This is back to the 50-day moving average, which is a good thing. The tough thing about this chart is, this was really like the last entry, this area right here. And the stock's gone from 9, it's almost doubled. We'll say from 90, maybe, 80 to 160. So it has been a double here. But then since that time, it's given us this double top, a breakdown. And so now it's back to this support level. We'll call it 110. The issue that I would have is that it seems like the big steep decline here, it's just kind of trapped all the latecomers, all the people who bought into this madness, into the, everybody's going to be communicating on Zoom video. And that may be the case, and we know that they have some security issues, which frankly, and I don't know that much about internet security other than VPN. That's all I know. But that's the kind of stuff that it seems to me like you can get that weird looking dude that owns PCmatic. I'm just kidding, not him. But you can get security, you can get your security issues resolved. No problem with that, or I should say not an unsolvable problem. What I think is more difficult to solve is this pattern. The fact that, first of all, everybody and his brother and his sister, who doesn't even trade stocks, knows about Zoom video. They all know about it. And so this is one of those stocks that I would put into the COVID crowd. The stocks that should benefit from this COVID virus thing. But they've already made their moves. The last one here we'll look at. Netflix. This is the all-time high for Netflix, I believe. Something like that. Well, you can see, I guess it's back here, but who cares? That was in 2018. But this is just barely off its all-time high. I missed this move because it, just not my kind of pattern. You can't catch them all. But now that the stock is up here back to these highs, this isn't a stock that I'm interested in buying right now. Now, we could see this stock over the next several weeks or maybe longer. We could see it kind of start to tighten up, kind of drift sideways, work off this big V and start to tighten up. And then sometime in May, they report in a couple weeks, sometime in May after they report earnings and the stock tightens up, then it starts to break out. That's something that I would be interested in doing. But for now, this isn't a stock that is showing me that it's time to buy. So here's the bottom line on this video. The stocks that everybody has been talking about and looking at, for the most part, are stocks that aren't giving you opportunities today. They're stocks that did give us opportunities in days gone by. But don't trade yesterday's stocks today. Don't trade last week's stocks next month. Even look at Microsoft, which I really like. Microsoft gapped up today, sucked everybody in, and then drifted back down here, or is going to drift back down here. So this isn't the time really to be buying Microsoft. One day little pullback isn't your buying opportunity. This is a sign that this move is a little bit exhausted. Pretty decent volume today. So what I would do is steer clear of all this stuff. Keep your powder dry and wait for things to break out. Frankly, here's the stuff I'm looking at. I thought they were going to move higher today, and they did for a bit, but I'm thinking right about here, I'm going to be looking pretty smart for buying these on the next dip. Not yet. I was hoping, but not yet. I think we're going to get another downdraft, and that is what I'll be looking for in order to get into these stocks, and not for a day trade, but for a longer term move. So anyway, that's it, and I will see you guys in the forum tomorrow. By the way, don't forget about 59-minute trader. We've had a lot of feedback on it just since we started offering it here over the last few days, and people are really liking it, and I invite you to be one of those people.